out of the storm. I don't want to be disproportionately enthusiastic, but it seems like our idea worked. Our idea? Yes. We brainstormed, didn't we? Sure. Shouldn't it be here? The exploration vehicle? We're close to the rendezvous point. It can't be far. Hello. I was wondering, aren't we getting any signal from the tour vehicle? We are, but it's ambiguous and very faint. It seems to be close by, but I'm unable to establish its exact location. So, you'll need to find it on your own. Fine. I'll take a look around. Good. We don't really know why we were lured here. Lured? You don't mean... Look. It's the technician we're talking about. An unstable, frustrated, resentful version of us. Whatever survival strategy he's boiled up, we'd better have a heads up. The only way to guarantee that is to locate that vehicle. Maybe they left some analog tracks? Just be careful. I should look for the rebels. Who knows where they went? Hello?
Jan? What a relief. We thought we'd lost you.
Yeah, so did I. The base got caught in a huge sandstorm. And I lost part of my crew.
What? Your alters? How could you let that happen?
I guess I failed to make them feel safe enough. They were so uneasy about their future, and that business with Tabula Rasa didn't help. Apparently, they thought they'd be better off in that cold, hostile desert than in my base.
You mean they ran away? And they're exposed to radiation?
They took the exploration vehicle, and some supplies.
Tell me not all of them left?
No. Why?
The ship is close, Jan. You have to be ready for the arrival of the rescue team.
Ready? How?
They can't find out about your alters.
What? But didn't you say that you would handle everything? And that nobody will care as long as I bring back Rapidium?
They might not care how you got the Rapidium, but confronted with your alters, they will have to react. The board will not tolerate anything that could cast even the slightest shadow on the legitimacy of this operation. And the rescue team is on their leash. Do I have to spell it out to you? They will have your alters killed.
What? Killed? What kind of a rescue team are they?
They're a special ops unit. Military men.
You could have told me earlier.
Please, Jan. You always knew their primary mission was to escort the most precious cargo mankind has ever seen. Did you really expect them to arrive unarmed?
So you lied to me. That you'd prepare them.
I told you I'd test the waters, and that's what I did. But there is a lot of pressure on your success, Jan. A lot of anxiety amongst the top management. They can sense the vultures hovering around them, waiting for any sign of a slip-up. And they won't let them smell blood. They won't expose themselves.
So what exactly is your plan?
The rescue team will arrive shortly before sunrise. You have time until then to come up with a way to smuggle your alters on board. In the meantime, you need to keep collecting Rapidium.
Yeah, sure. Once we take off, what happens then?
You will all go into cryosleep, and as the ship approaches Earth, Lucas will take remote control over it and modify the coordinates. The ship will land in a secluded location I've been preparing.
And what about the crew?
They'll be in cryosleep during the landing. And by the time they wake up, we will be far away. I have a lab ready, and a guarantee of immunity from people who understand. I'm moving operations to a more science-friendly region, somewhere Ally Corp won't get to us. And, most importantly, where nobody will ever find your alters.
You're putting them in a lab?
I won't sugarcoat it. We've come too far together for that. If you wanted to hate me, I probably gave you enough reasons by now. Truth is, when I first heard about you, your situation, well, I'd be lying if I said it all came together immediately. On the contrary, I didn't hope for much. An accidental castaway with no qualifications, all alone, burdened with such a responsible task. But when Lucas told me you did it, you created your alter and managed to convince him to cooperate with you, I couldn't help but fantasize about where this could go. Can you see? I've been waiting for something like this ever since they shut down Project Ela.
Yeah, about that. I heard some disturbing things about your experiments. Is it true your patients... well, that they lost their minds?
Of course. That was the whole point. They were losing their old dysfunctional identity to gain a new, sound one. Whoever told you this must have heard some scraps of information and didn't have a full understanding of what we were doing. Yes, they were unorthodox things, but it was always about making people better. Project Ela was my whole life, Jan. Why would I devote myself to something harmful?
You never stopped dreaming about reviving it.
You wouldn't be so surprised if you knew what we could achieve.
Lucas told me you wanted to help war veterans, patients with PTSD.
Yes, that was the initial scope. But we could have done so much more. But take, for example, the possibilities of re-socializing criminals by altering the experiences that led to their corruption. But why not go even further? Why should we limit ourselves to thinking only about altering the past? Why not be able to influence the future?
What? How?
The Tree of Life. You've seen yours, but it's just a projection, a rudimentary interface. Think about it. What if it was no interface, but an integrated part of the human mind, allowing us to live our lives exactly the way we should?
The way we should? What? You mean, make the right decisions?
Exactly. The human cognitive system enhanced in a way evolution failed to do in millions of years.
I tried to do something like that. Using your upgrade, I tried to alter myself into someone who always makes the right decisions.
And? What happened?
I realized it's more complicated than that. That what I thought were bad choices can objectively be good ones.
Exactly. This is where the real breakthrough should happen. We have to be able to define a choice as good or bad by an objective, quantum-calculated analysis of its outcome in an instant.
Wow. That sounds completely unrealistic.
I prefer the term difficult, but Rapidium can help make it so much easier. Imagine a world where nobody ever takes the wrong turn. Children are never harmed. There are no court misrulings because there is no crime. Greedy and corrupt individuals never come to power, and because of that, wars never break out. Can you see now why your success meant so much to me? Do you not understand that giving Rapidium away for any other purpose would mean robbing humanity of its biggest evolutionary leap since we crawled out of the primordial soup? Do you still think there is a better purpose for your alters than to contribute to all that?
I'm not their owner. They're people in their own rights. I can't decide their fate for them.
That's very noble. But in a way, you've already done that when you created them. Look, all I'm asking is several weeks in a lab where I can run some tests on them, collect data, and prepare for the bigger leap.
And then what? You let them walk free?
You know I can't do that. It would be too risky for both of us and for them. But I could guarantee them a comfortable life. They would be hidden from the eyes of the world.
Imprisoned.
The only alternative for them is to be disposed of by the corporation, like waste. I think you need to take a breath. There's a lot to think about. How to smuggle your alters aboard that ship, for one. But first, you have to guide their navigator to your exact position. They'll need you to mark the spot with a beacon. Start with that, and then I trust you'll figure out what to do next.
Yeah, sure. By the way, I wasn't an accidental survivor.
What do you mean?
The quantum computer chose me. Seems I was the one who had the biggest chance of making it.
Well, doesn't that just prove my point? We are capable of so much more than we think, Jan. All we need to do is open the door and let that potential in. You'll hear from me again before the ship lands. Good luck, Jan.
those rocks. They're shaped like trees. What are they really?
Seriously, what was he thinking, leaving the base like that?
We've almost made it. How are you doing?
I'm trying not to think about it. Focus on the job. I almost envy those bastards that ran away. At least they know the shit that's gonna hit them. Or maybe... I just wish we were all together in this, you know?
I hate not... Hey, can you hear me? Loud and clear. Waking up from cryosleep, achy back, buzzing sound in ears. Piercing headache. I'll have to recommend more humane methods for the, what the hell? Just take it easy, I can explain. I knew there was something rotten going on. So this is what they're really doing. Replicating people. For efficiency. Relax. You're confused, I get it. And that's totally fine. What are you? A friendly welcome bot? Don't worry, I'll explain everything. Just be so kind and answer a few control questions for me, okay? I'll only answer to a human being. Where's the captain? Please. What is your name and role on this mission? My name is Jan Dolski. I'm a representative of the Joint Trade Union sent on this mission to make sure nobody is fucking with the people employed here. And you know what? My notebook is beginning to fill up fast. No, you've got it all wrong. Nobody is fucking with anyone here. There was an accident. Accident? What accident? During the landing, I'm afraid the whole crew died. Oh, isn't this just getting better and better? The whole crew? Where's the comms room? I need to report this back to the Union immediately. I'm sorry, but access to the comms room is restricted. Really? Don't tell me you're calling the shots here. Someone had to make you, Mr. Lookalike. I want to talk to them. They should be told that it's illegal to use people's DNA like that. Actually, you're the one that's been created illegally, and I was the one who made you. Like I said, things went south, I had no choice. This is absurd. It's true, and you're not the first one I made. I have Rapidium. No, you're lying to me. Rapidium is what we were supposed to... Besides, I'm someone important. I do things for people. Real people rely on me. Calm down. You're not the original Jan, but that doesn't mean you can't be important. You're right about us being different. That's because I altered my mind to make you. I don't have your history of fighting for people. That can be really useful here. This is just... No, it's not happening. You know what? You need two things to process this. Time and straight-up facts. You'll find everything you want to know in the mission logs. It better not be corporate propaganda. You can decide for yourself. Once you've read it, let's talk again. In the meantime, just make yourself at home in the base and Meet the rest of the crew. Talk to people. Yeah, it might be wise to start with that.
My tasks. Want me to take care of this now? My tasks. Want me to take care of this now? finish my tasks. Want me to take care of this now?
Look at that. I found my Boy Scout badge. Go fierce ocelots. I know which way they went. Looks like someone has already depleted this deposit. Maneuvering here must have been a nightmare. Well, they have the TERS, some basic supplies. Maybe they thought this through.
Sure they did. They had to plan this ahead. Robbing us, beating up Jan. I thought we were friends.
I hate not knowing what someone is plotting behind my back.
Hey man, look what I found. Huh. Would you look at that? My Boy Scout badge. The Fierce Ocelots. Oh, your badge, huh? I didn't even remember taking it with me. It was just pinned to one of my old t-shirts. Well, you kept it. That means something. I can do this now. go quietly. Ally Corp can...
Hey, how's it going for you? Still early days. Could use a little more comradeship in the group, but we'll get there. I have faith. Comradeship is great, but what these guys need is motivation to work harder and longer. Efficiency. The human being is a working machine. You can see the system already brainwashed you. Do you seriously think we should be confronting Ally Corp now? So you don't think enough has happened? Leaving you like this, making you create us like slave machines. And look at us, mining Rapidium for them like good little children. Wake up, Jan. What would you have us do? Go on strike? I'm still trying to figure that out. Just don't neglect your primary duties. Yeah. I know. I can see that you're angry. What do you care? Well, I do. Can we talk about it? How do you usually deal with anger?
What do you mean, deal with it? Well, I guess I just wait it out. Sooner or later, it passes.
If you need someone to wait it out with, remember we're here for you.
That's not necessary, but thanks.
I thought you'd like to know that I ran into a completely new kind of anomaly. First thing that came to my mind was that it's some sort of a prism distortion. Really? What gave you that thought? Well, it behaved as if the reality around me suddenly split up into many different fragments. Wise of you to bring it to me. Any observations on interaction? Well, it didn't seem to do anything specific to me physically. No radiation. But it sure was messing with my brain. Felt as if I was in several different places at once. In a way, you might have been. Huh? You mean? Remember how I told you that anomalies are places where our world intersects with the interworld? Well, what you're describing suggests a distortion in which it comes into contact with not one, but many proximity planes. Entering it is likely to evoke a sensation of being in several parallel realities at the same time. Calling it a prism is accurate, because it refracts your consciousness into many simultaneous states. Neat. Who needs altering, huh? Take it easy. It's just a sensation. Best not spend too much time inside them. Plus, I suppose it must make exploration very inconvenient. Can I destroy them like the others? It should be possible. You just need to locate all of its cores and take them down one by one. All right. Thanks for the tip. Hey, I found this. I brought it on this mission, but thought that maybe it could mean something to you too.
Well, well. I didn't take you for a fan of dystopias.
Honestly, I never read it. I thought I might enjoy it during the long evenings in the base, but I'm too drained to even pick it up.
I read it a dozen times at least, and I will gladly do it again. It's such a great reminder of how corporations train us to be their servants.